The world of K-pop has witnessed countless surprises over the years, but nothing could have prepared fans for the moment Kim Taehyung, globally known as V of BTS, appeared to accidentally let slip a secret so massive that it instantly ignited shockwaves across the internet. What began as an ordinary day for fans quickly transformed into one of the most talked about moments in recent idol history, as Taehyung's unexpected blab sent armies into a frenzy of disbelief, speculation, and emotional reactions that ranged from joy to utter shock. Taehyung has always been known as a master of mystery. With his deep, soulful eyes, artistic sensibility, and habit of expressing himself through cryptic words and gestures, he has long been regarded as one of the most enigmatic figures in the global music industry. Fans have spent years analyzing his interviews, lyrics, photos, and even casual livestream comments, convinced that there was always something more beneath the surface. Yet no matter how much speculation surrounded him, Taehyung managed to keep his private world carefully guarded, until now. The incident reportedly occurred during what was supposed to be a relaxed and informal moment. Taehyung was interacting comfortably, speaking in a way that felt natural and unfiltered, when he suddenly revealed information that fans believe was never meant to be shared publicly. At first, many viewers didn't immediately realize the significance of his words. It sounded casual, almost harmless. But within minutes, social media detectives began replaying clips, translating nuances, and comparing past statements. Slowly but surely, the realization set in. Taehyung had just confirmed a long-rumored secret. As clips spread rapidly across platforms, disbelief turned into chaos. Fans around the world flooded timelines with reactions, many insisting it had to be a misunderstanding. There's no way he meant that, some argued. Others pointed out subtle changes in his expression immediately after he spoke, suggesting that Taehyung himself realized he had gone too far. His brief pause, the small laugh that followed, and the way he quickly changed the subject only fueled the theory that something significant had just been revealed. What made the situation even more intense was the nature of the secret itself. For years, fans had speculated about Taehyung's future direction, both artistically and personally. Was he preparing something completely different from what the public expected? Had he been quietly working on a project that would redefine his identity beyond BTS? Or was there a deeply personal truth that he had deliberately kept hidden to protect himself and those around him? According to fans, his words seemed to point directly toward one of these long-standing questions. The emotional response from fans was immediate and overwhelming. Many expressed shock not because they felt betrayed, but because they felt they had just been allowed a glimpse into a side of Taehyung that had always remained out of reach. Some fans admitted they felt emotional, even teary-eyed, realizing how much pressure he must have carried in silence. Others expressed admiration, stating that the revelation only made them respect him more for his honesty, even if it was unintentional. Industry insiders also began weighing in, suggesting that Taehyung's slip might have been the result of exhaustion and the intense demands placed on global superstars. BTS, as a group and as individuals, have spent years under relentless scrutiny. Every word they speak is analyzed, every gesture interpreted. In such an environment, maintaining absolute control at all times is nearly impossible. For Taehyung, known for his sincerity and emotional openness, the risk of revealing too much has always been present. As the news continued to spread, fans revisited past interviews and lyrics with fresh eyes. Lines that once seemed poetic or abstract suddenly appeared deeply personal. Moments that were previously dismissed as playful or symbolic were now being reinterpreted as hints he had been leaving all along. The idea that Taehyung might have been subtly preparing fans for this truth made the revelation even more powerful. What truly shocked many was how calm Taehyung appeared after the moment passed. Rather than panicking or immediately issuing a correction, he continued interacting as usual. This led some fans to believe that perhaps, on a subconscious level, he was ready for the truth to come out. Maybe the slip wasn't entirely accidental. Maybe it was the result of years of holding something in, finally reaching a point where silence became heavier than honesty. The response from ARMY was far from negative. While disbelief dominated the initial reactions, it quickly turned into overwhelming support. Messages of love and reassurance poured in from every corner of the world. Fans emphasized that no matter what the secret was, Taehyung deserved happiness, freedom, and understanding. Hashtags expressing solidarity began trending, highlighting the unique bond between Taehyung and his fans, a relationship built on trust, empathy, and mutual respect. Media outlets quickly picked up the story, amplifying its reach beyond the fandom. Headlines speculated about the implications of Taehyung's revelation and what it could mean for his future. Yet many fans urged caution, reminding the public that Taehyung is a human being, not a headline. They called for respect, emphasizing that whatever he shared, intentionally or not, should not be twisted into something harmful or invasive. What sets this moment apart from typical celebrity slip-ups is the emotional depth behind it. This wasn't a scandal rooted in controversy or wrongdoing. Instead, it was a raw, human moment, one that revealed vulnerability rather than chaos. Fans weren't angry. They were stunned because they realized just how much Taehyung had been carrying on his shoulders while continuing to smile, perform, and inspire millions. As days passed, discussions evolved. Fans began asking deeper questions about the pressures idols face and the unrealistic expectations placed upon them. Taehyung's moment became symbolic of a larger issue within the entertainment industry, the cost of perfection. How many other artists are silently holding back parts of themselves to meet public expectations? How often are idols forced to suppress their true feelings for the sake of an image? Despite the frenzy, Taehyung himself remained largely silent. No official clarification was issued, and that silence spoke volumes. Some fans interpreted it as a sign of confidence, proof that he stood by what he said. Others believed it was a strategic decision, allowing the situation to settle naturally without adding fuel to speculation. Either way, the lack of denial only strengthened the belief that the secret was, in fact, real. In the end, what shocked fans the most wasn't the content of the secret itself, but the realization that Taehyung is entering a new chapter of his life, one where honesty may begin to outweigh caution. His blab became a turning point, reminding everyone that behind the flawless visuals and global fame is a person with emotions, dreams, and truths that cannot be hidden forever. Taehyung's unexpected revelation will likely be remembered as one of the most human moments in his career. It shattered illusions, not in a destructive way, but in a way that brought fans closer to the artist they admire so deeply. Disbelief may have been the first reaction, but acceptance, admiration, and unwavering support quickly followed. As the world continues to talk, analyze, and speculate, one thing is clear. Taehyung's impact goes far beyond music and performance. Even in a single unguarded moment, he managed to spark global conversations about authenticity, freedom, and the courage it takes to simply be yourself. And perhaps that is the true reason fans are still in disbelief, not because of what was revealed, but because of how deeply it resonated with them. The moment continued to grow far beyond a simple viral clip. As hours turned into days, Taehyung's unexpected revelation evolved into a cultural talking point that extended well outside the boundaries of the fandom. Entertainment analysts, cultural commentators, and longtime K-pop observers began discussing not only what Taehyung had revealed, but why this moment felt so powerful to millions of people around the world. Fans started noticing how different Taehyung's energy had been in recent months. There was a subtle shift, less guarded, more reflective, and deeply introspective. His artistic choices, from music recommendations to visual concepts and fashion statements, suddenly appeared more intentional than ever. Many now believe that the slip was not a mistake born of carelessness, but the result of emotional buildup reaching a breaking point. Years of restraint, discipline, and silence may have finally collided with his natural honesty. What stunned fans the most was how closely his words aligned with theories that had circulated quietly for years. These were not wild rumors, but thoughtful interpretations built from patterns in his work. Lyrics that once felt poetic now seemed confessional. His preference for melancholic tones, vintage aesthetics, and deeply emotional performances suddenly carried new meaning. Fans began to realize that Taehyung had been expressing his truth all along, just not in plain language. The reaction across social media was explosive. Fan communities translated his words into dozens of languages within hours, ensuring that no nuance was lost. Discussions stretched into the night as fans debated interpretations, shared emotional messages, and reflected on how deeply connected they felt to him in that moment. Many admitted they felt protective, urging others not to sensationalize or distort his words. The overwhelming sentiment was clear. Taehyung deserved understanding, not judgment. Several fans pointed out that this moment highlighted the heavy emotional burden idols carry. Despite global fame, sold-out stadiums, and endless praise, idols are often denied the freedom to express their full identities. Taehyung's revelation became symbolic of that struggle. It wasn't just about him. It was about every artist who has ever been asked to stay silent for the sake of an image. Industry professionals quietly acknowledge that moments like this are inevitable in long careers built under extreme pressure. Taehyung debuted at a young age and spent his formative years in the public eye. Growing up while the world watches leaves little room for mistakes, exploration, or vulnerability. When someone like Taehyung finally lets something slip, it is often because the truth has been waiting too long to be spoken. What made fans emotional was the realization that Taehyung never demanded understanding, yet he received it instantly. Messages of support emphasized unconditional love. Fans reminded each other that BTS has always stood for authenticity, self-love, and honesty. In that sense, Taehyung's moment felt aligned with everything the group has preached since the beginning. As speculation continued, many fans chose a different approach: acceptance without intrusion. Instead of demanding clarification or details, they focused on reassurance. "You don't owe us explanations," became a repeated phrase across fan spaces. This response highlighted the maturity of the fandom and the deep trust that exists between Taehyung and those who support him. The silence from official channels only added to the gravity of the situation. No denial, no clarification, no attempt to redirect attention. For many, that silence confirmed what words did not need to explain. Taehyung had said what he needed to say, and the world had heard it. Sometimes, truth does not need repetition, it only needs acknowledgement.